In today's video, we aim to demonstrate the application of Chinese metaphysics and Western astrology in timing investment decisions. The inaccuracy and lack of scientific basis in Chinese metaphysics and astrological forecasts. Unfortunately, both Chinese metaphysics and Western astrology shady are filled with scammers. Many self-proclaimed experts present themselves as prophets. Scammers who cannot profit from investing in financial markets often use their superficial understanding to pretend to be able to predict market trends and seek personal gain from investors. The issue lies not with the inaccuracy or lack of scientific basis in Chinese metaphysics and astrological forecasts, but rather with the purported experts' inability to perform thorough analyses. Their understanding is rudimentary and omits numerous complex aspects of Chinese metaphysics and astrology, leading to analysis that is inevitably biased and limited in scope. The chaotic metaphysical prediction. In the Lunar New Year greeting cards sent to clients by CITIC CLSA, the forecasts of several feng shui masters at the time were appended, supplemented by analysts' opinions. When we compare the forecast to the actual Hang Seng Index, we can only laugh at it. Ponzi scheme. Recently, a metaphysical financial Ponzi scheme fraud broke out in China. Ding Yifeng Financial Management Company, 00612, with its incredibly high product yields, has more than 500,000 investors and an asset management scale of up to 100 billion renminbi. Investors' principal cannot be returned on time. One of the founders was caught trying to leave the company. Ding Yifeng was founded in 2011 by Sui Guangyi, the founder who calls himself a Taoist priest and the reincarnation of the Big Dipper. After studying the Tao Te Ching for many years, he reached an epiphany and created the original Zen investment method. He said that he had the dragon veins of Changbai Mountain to increase his holdings and the Big Dipper to protect his body. For investors who are unable to recover their principal, their money seems to have disappeared along with the bubble of Zen investing. The China Securities Regulatory Commission is cracking down on all. On February 24, 2023, the China Securities Regulatory Commission criticized the use of heavenly stems and earthly branches to analyze and predict stock market trends in the release of the recommendations on strictly combating feng shui blind testing of stock market trends. It has been clearly stated that it will severely crack down on the use of heavenly stems, earthly branches, yin-yang, and five-element feng shui theories to predict the stock market. Everyone agrees that this is the correct way to deal with those scammers. Professional things should be left to professionals. The scientific approach to Chinese metaphysics and Western astrology. When applied with precision, Chinese metaphysics and Western astrology can serve as powerful instruments for market timing, potentially offering a strategic edge in trading. Achieving precise outcomes necessitates adherence to the scientific method. Employing statistical tools and cycle theory, one can scrutinize the vast historical data of the market to extract dependable insights. To demonstrate our methodology, we will guide you through the application of these techniques to the Halloween effect and Santa Claus rally in the financial markets. Chart on the right is the Zhuibugua wheel, 64 hexagrams, with 384 lines. They are used for fortune telling and calculated based on the 24 solar terms. The Xiantian Palace wheel each year starts on beginning of Spring Festival and time runs anti-clockwise. Each palace begins with one of the 24 solar terms. The Xiantian Palace will include information of yin and yang, the five elements, and the earthly branches. Each earthly branch represents a different house. Even-numbered earthly branch palaces are Yin, Chou, Mao, Si, Wei, Yu, Hai, and odd-numbered earthly branch palaces are Yang, Zi, Yin, Chen, Wu, Shen, Shu. Each palace has a different combination of 5 elements. Western astrology house will chart. The beginning of constellation houses are the 24 solar terms. Every year begins with vernal equinox, and time runs clockwise. Compare the palace will charts of Chinese metaphysics and Western astrology, and you will find that they have one thing in common. The starting time of both palaces is the same as the 24 solar terms. Western astrology believes that house changes bring about change. The Chinese believe that changes in the attributes of the 5 elements will bring about changes. The common point is that these two situations occur most often on the 24th solar term. On 2002, Ben Jacobson of Tilburg University and Sven Baumann publish a research paper on the existence of a strong seasonal effect in stock returns based on the popular market saying sell in May and go away, also known as the Halloween indicator. According to the words of market wisdom, stock market returns should be higher in the November-April period than those in the May-October period. Surprisingly, they found this inherited wisdom to be true in 36 of the 37 developed and emerging markets. The sell in May effect tends to be particularly strong in European countries and is robust over time. They had examined a number of possible explanations, but none of these appears to convincingly explain the puzzle. This chart compare the return from NOV through April against May through October of S&P index from 1950 to 2010. The index has made the majority of its gains during the calendar month December through April. During this half-year period, the stock market tends to experience lateral movement. Consequently, investors may find profitability primarily through selling options or investing in bonds. Within the semi-annual cycle, there are 2 well-known subcycles. First, pour in May, despair in June, recovery in July. The timing of this subcycle starting as the half-year cycle begins and ends with the sun entering Leo on Great Summer. Second, autumn declines. The timing of this subcycle starting as the sun enters Virgo on end of summer heat and ends with the end of the half-year cycle. Autumn declines research. According to a study by Professor Siegel of the University of Pennsylvania published by The Economist on 1995. In the 105 years to 1994, USA stock investors would have done best by selling their shares at the end of August and reinvesting the proceeds at the beginning of October. The average return on shares around the world during September is negative, even after dividends are reinvested. The September effect appears to be global. For the 1970 to 94 period, 20 of the world's biggest stock markets yielded negative average returns for September, even after dividends had been reinvested. It is also applicable to the Southern Hemisphere. Applying cycle theory with Chinese metaphysics, astrology according to cycle theory, the part of the cycle that is consistent with the main trend will expand, while the part that is opposite to the main trend will contract. Thus, in a bearish trend, the cycle starting as the sun enters Gemini on Xiaoman and ends with the sun entering Capricorn at the winter solstice, while in a bullish trend, the cycle starting as the T-sun enters Gemini on Miscanthus and ends with the sun entering Libra at the autumnal equinox. See chart below for bull. The Santa Claus rally begins when the sun enters Capricorn on the winter solstice and ends when the sun enters Aquarius on the great cold. The sun's entry into Capricorn always occurs 3 days before Christmas. The chart below shows returns in the days leading up to Christmas. Christmas is a public holiday. So the sun's entry into Capricorn may occur 1 to 3 trading days before Christmas, depending on whether there is a weekend before Christmas. You can see that the average market return from 1988 to 2003 is positive on days 1 and 2 before Christmas, and negative on day 4 before Christmas. The fact that the Santa Claus rally begins a few trading days before Christmas can only be explained by astrology. The key is the winter solstice, when the sun enters Capricorn. In major bearish trends, the semi-annual cycle ends with the sun entering Capricorn on the winter solstice, so the average return for the Dow is negative in the days leading up to the sun entering Capricorn. Santa Claus rally strategy, the January effect in penny stocks. Buying penny stocks in late December and selling them in January can be more profitable than buying and selling at other times. History shows that S&P penny stocks selected using a value investing approach outperform stocks selected using a growth investing approach or from S&P large cap stocks. But the difference is almost entirely a function of January alone. 77 January period from 1926 to 2003, S&P penny stocks selected using a value investing approach have achieved annualized returns of up to 80% higher than stocks selected using a growth investing approach or S&P large cap stocks. In contrast, in all other months of the same period, there is no difference in the returns achieved between the different stock selection methods. If Santa Claus should fail to call, bears may come to Broad and Wall. Gold's half-year cycle. Buy gold when the sun enters Leo on great summer and short gold when the sun enters Aquarius on great cold. These moves usually have a probability of success above 80%. Soybeans half-year solar cycle. The cause of the half-year solar activity cycle. Most grains depend on sunlight and grow within a year. The amount of sunlight each day determines the half-year solar cycle. Whether it is a top or a bottom depend on the production of that year. Stock traders have long had a saying, sell the full moon, buy the new, and it is remarkable how often new and full moons can mark a turn in the market within a day or two. David McMinn's research show that the full moon effect appears to be global. The full moon effect applies to all categories of stock. My research using Hang Seng Index data show that the index has made the majority of its gains during the new to full moon phase. The following is the computerized analysis chart. The method of Chinese metaphysics is designed to predict the agricultural economy, but it is not suitable for predicting stock market trends. Stock prices, a leading economic indicator, often reflect changes before they become apparent in the broader economy. By the time a recession becomes apparent, stock prices may have fallen significantly and may be near a bottom. The point is, forecasting that the economy lags stock market timing invalidates the forecast. People who are interested in Chinese metaphysics should realize that historically China was based on agriculture. Commerce and stock exchanges were marginalized. Predictions made using ancient metaphysics are essentially predictions of agricultural yields. While these traditional methods may still have some value in predicting the yields of certain crops in China today, their relevance has diminished due to the significant impact of international trade on import and export volumes. Later episode preview. Lunar aspects gold bottom when moon in Pisces? If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Please note that our content is purely for storytelling purposes and should not be construed as investment advice, nor do we solicit investment funds.